Focus is the ability to direct your attention to what's important, filtering out distractions and other things that may vie for your attention. And today we're going to talk about focus. We're going to talk about laser-like focus and how that can be a key to consistency. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode, and I'm so glad that you're joining me for my 100-day walk to consistency. Hey, this is what we do. On this journey, we are building better versions of ourselves, more resilient, more consistent, more determined, more competent, and more confident versions of ourselves. I'm glad that you're here. We'll see you on the walk. But before we do that, I want to remind you that consistency is your key. It is your superpower that allows you to do the things that we need to do to set ourselves up for success. So let's go ahead. I'll see you on the walk. So what is focus? Focus is the ability to concentrate on a single task and to do so with consistency, with determination, despite distractions that may come about. And focus is really a key component in setting ourselves up for success, because if we're able to bring to bear all the faculties, all of the powers of our concentration, then we are more efficient and we get things done and we move in a better direction. Think about focus kind of like, imagine a magnifying glass. You remember that in science class? And you would get a magnifying glass and you'd hold it up against a piece of paper. And if you moved the magnifying glass over the paper, then nothing happened if you kept moving it. But if you kept it solid, if you kept it consistent, if you kept it in the same spot, then after a while, what would start happening is the concentration of the sunlight would start to burn the paper. And that's what it's like to have focus. If we don't have focus, then our energies are being dispersed over multiple things. I mentioned before that a lot of people talk about being able to multitask. And while it is a great idea, it really is not something that we can do, because we can't multitask, right? Our brain can do one thing at a time. We can serially task. But imagine what would happen if we were able to just spend our time with our energies going to one thing, okay? So focus. Why focus is critical for success is that it is necessary to be able to put into place all of your faculties, all of your energies. Even for folks who say they multitask, when they are on a particular task and they've been trying to multitask, then their mind, their brain, is actually thinking of something else. And so that can cause problems, not necessarily problems, but they are not as efficient at doing all of the things that they need to do. They could be more creative, they could be more, they could work faster, more efficient, they can be more outside the box. All of those things happen. If we are focused, then these are benefits that we get in terms of putting ourselves in the position of being successful. So how does focus fuel consistency? Well, number one, focus fuels consistency because it keeps us aligned with our goals. It keeps us aligned with our goals. If we are focused, then we're moving in the direction that we've decided that we want to go. I give the example of being in a boat, and there are groups on either side of the boat. And if we are focused, then everyone is rowing together, right? When you say stroke, everybody moves. Stroke, everybody moves. If you're not focused, what happens is that one part of the group is rowing in one direction, another part is rowing in the other direction, and our energies are divided, and we end up not heading in the direction that we want to go, okay? That's one thing. Number two, focus reduces overwhelm. Because if we are able to focus, if we're able to do the things that we're able to concentrate on one thing at a time, then our energies are not divided. And so we're much more able to handle some of the stresses, some of the overwhelmness that will come if we are continuing to be focused, if we are spending our time just doing and concentrating on one thing. Instead of tackling everything at once, try prioritizing. And we're going to come and talk about prioritizing in one of our discussions, but that is a skill that we all need to develop, the ability to prioritize. Focus also boosts our motivation. When we are focused, we see quicker, more profound changes, and that sets us up for success because it boosts our motivation. Remember that domino effect that we said? When one thing changes, it affects other things, and that affects other things, and we get more confident. We become more consistent. We become more consistent. We get more skills, and it's just a domino effect, and it just begins to spill over. It begins to spill over into everything that we do. So remember that focus not only affects the here and now, but affects so many other things that we find ourselves doing and wanting to do as we move into the space of trying to be successful. So how do we develop focus? That is key. Well, we develop focus, number one, by setting clear intentions. And this goes back to kind of our entire idea of setting clear goals, right? If you are clear on what you want, then your ability to concentrate on that one thing is enhanced. But if you're not clear, you may spend your time going from one thing to another because you're uncertain as to the destination. But when we're focused, when we are able to say, okay, we want to go from point A to point B, then we can put all of our energies to bear in bringing that and helping that to happen. So when you set a clear intention, your brain knows where you want to go. Remember, the stories that we tell ourselves are very important, and they are what create our realities. When we create that story is what our brain now finds energy and finds support for. And it will do everything it can to help that story to come true. So you want to make sure that you are setting clear goals. 2, you want to eliminate distractions. Now, this is a key one because often it's not that we say we don't have time, right? I don't have time for that. I didn't have enough time. But we actually have quite a bit of time, but sometimes we spend our time in distraction. We spend our time looking at emails. We spend our time scrolling on social media. We spend our time making phone calls that are not that important right now. I'll tell you, so today we had a function, and so I was out. We had a birthday party that we were invited to, and then we had something at school for my son. And so I came home, and so now I've got all this stuff, quote unquote, that I have to do. And so I said, okay, I've got to get out. I've got to do my walk for today. And I sat down to get ready for that. And guess what? Well, my email is right there, right? So my documents are there. So I pulled it up. And as I pulled it up, I said, oh, let me just answer this one email. Or let me just look at this one thing. Those things were not important at that time, but they were distractions that could have easily pulled me off of the course. And so there are so many things that sometimes will vie for our time, and they will distract us. So we don't sit down to deliberately do that, but they catch our attention, right? So social media, phone calls, other projects that we see that are not necessarily important at the moment, but they are distractions for our brain. Also, practice deep work. Deep work means that I am going to focus on this right now. I'm going to do this at the exclusion of everything else. So that is what I'm doing. I am working on this project. And when I'm done with this project, I will work on the other project. And when I'm done with that project, you see what I'm saying? So this goes back to this idea of mindfulness, right? So mindfulness says that I am present here and now. I'm feeling the here and now. I'm experiencing the here and now. I'm doing whatever I need to do in the here and now. So I can feel all of those emotions, the anxiety that I may feel about not wanting to get up and do that project, or not get up and walk, or it's cold outside, or it's getting dark outside, or whatever it is that our mind is telling us, or our feelings, right? Emotional feelings, emotional resilience and all that. Those feelings are telling us. So we want to make sure that we are doing all that we can to practice deep work. So key thought there, the more you practice deep thought work, the easier it is. The more you practice to do one thing, the easier it becomes for you to do one thing. Otherwise, you spend your time basically spinning your wheels. Have you ever seen people who were busy but not going anywhere? Yeah, there's a lot of activity going on. There's a lot of movement going on, but they're actually not moving in a direction, right? So forward motion, right? Progress is what we're looking for. Now, I could spend a lot of time, a lot of activity, just moving around in circles. That is activity, it is action, but it doesn't take me in the direction that I need to go in order for me to be successful, okay? So the more you practice, the better it is. Use visualization. Once again, this is such a powerful idea. The more we are able to visualize, the more we're able to tell ourselves the stories about the success that we will have, about the space that we will be, about what we will have when we are able to be, when we're able to succeed, the better it is. And the more graphic, the more detailed, the more in-depth, the more rich we make that visualization, the more the brain has to work with in terms of helping us to be successful. So visualization. I want that thing to have smells and sights and sounds. I want you to make that rich. Imagine the tastes, right, that will occur when you are successful, when you're able to do the things that you need to do and set yourself up into that space. All right? So visualization. And then break tasks into smaller tasks. And this is the whole idea of, right, chunking. And we've talked about chunking before. Chunking is the idea of taking the tasks that we have and making them into smaller, more manageable chunks. And I'm going to see something here. Let's see if this will work. Ooh, that's kind of bright. That's all right. We'll do this. You guys can still see and hear me, right? Yep. So we're out walking, and you can see it's getting darker and darker as I move. So that's visualization. So that is this idea of laser-like focus. You want to be laser-like in your thoughts, laser-like in your actions, laser-like in the things that you do, so that you could bring to bear all of the benefits of your skill, all the things that we're learning. We want to put them to bear on one thing, right? So this idea of being able to concentrate on a single task to the exclusion of others, making changes if we need to, right? So remember, we're being flexible, we're pivoting, whatever we need to do. But when we're working on this task, this is the task that we're working on. We're not working on this one and the other one and the other one and dividing our time. Because when we do that, we are surely setting ourselves up for not having success. All right. Well, you know how we do, right? We cannot leave without giving you a challenge. And so our challenge, we're going to turn around right here, right under one of these lights. Let's see, how about that? Is that a good backdrop for this? Okay, so our challenge is this. Number one, I want you to identify a key task, right? Identify a key task. Choose one important task or goal you want to focus on today. Because remember, we're talking about focusing. And so we want to bring to bear all the laser-like energy that we have, right? Make sure it's specific and it aligns with your long-term goals. So we have gone through the SMART goal, smart way of making a goal. So it's not just something you randomly pick. You've gone through it, you researched it, you've gone back and you watched that video, you've done that exercise, and so now this is SMART now, right? So we have that in place, and so you've identified. Come back. There we go. So you have identified that. So set a timer for deep work. So set a timer, say 30 minutes. Right? And there are lots of different ways to do this. Once again, we will come back and we'll spend some time working on some of these things that we want to learn and teach you, some of these skills. Right? So set a time for 30 minutes and commit that time to working on this alone. Right? Turn off the phone, get rid of distractions, let your family know that, hey, this is what I'm doing. And we're gonna do, and then I want you to do that. Remember, you are also you're journaling. So I want you to put this in your journal. We're gonna keep walking here, see if we can get to another spot, and you guys can see me moving along the trail. So you're gonna keep journaling, and in the process of journaling, you are going to record what the goal is, right? What is my ultimate goal? And then I want to reflect on your progress. All right, so you've done this, you found a task, you said, hey, this is the task that I'm gonna do, and you've set it up, and I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can turn on. Of course, that's way over there now, but that's okay. Is that a little too bright for you guys? Okay, how about right here? There we go, that works. Of course, that makes me look interesting. There you go. How about that? Okay, that's a little better. So we've set the task, right? So we got the task. We've set a time for the task. We've reflected on our progress. So at the end of the 30 minutes, reflect on how you've done, how you have managed. Did it work? Is it? Did you get some stuff done? And if you did, right, what did you get done? And what would have happened had you not done this, right? So you're journaling, because what we're doing is we're evaluating the process. We are evaluating how we're doing by using this particular method. Now, for the method, there are lots of different ways to do it, but we've chosen the 30 minutes, and that's what we're doing on another street light right here. And then I want you to plan for tomorrow. So take some time and plan what is going to be your focus for tomorrow. What's going to be the thing that you're going to do in tomorrow. Remember, we talked about bookending, right? So bookending means that you are doing something at the beginning of the day to set yourself up for success. You are working to do or implement. And then as you get to the end of the day, now you're looking back to say, okay, did that work? And what can I do better? What can I do differently? So bookending. And so what you're doing now is you're reflecting and saying, okay, what do I need to do for tomorrow? How do I implement this deep work, right? How do I implement focus? How do I implement just being able to do this thing and not concentrating on other things? That's the beauty of this whole process. All right, and so you guys know how we do, right? I am so excited that you were here to join me. And did I say, welcome to day number 30? I don't think I said that at the beginning, okay? On my 100-day walk to consistency. Come back tomorrow and we will continue our journey as we move into the space of success. I want to encourage you to do the challenges. Don't let the challenges just be things that you are listening to and hearing, but take the time, spend the time to be successful, right? And also do the workbooks, because those are very, very important to us as well. When you're done, you would have created a manual, a success manual, and that will be in your arsenal. Anyway, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for Endocrinology. I educate, I empower, and I encourage. Hey, glad that you're here. We'll see you tomorrow for day number 31. All right, bye-bye.